Jason Hairston's career began as a linebacker in the NFL. Today, he's the founder and CEO of the wildly successful hunting brand, Kollege. Members of the First family have even been seen sporting some of his gear. Joining us right now to talk about the big business of hunting and conservation, Kollege CEO Jason Hairston. Jason, good to see you.
It's great to be back.
Thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, so I know we talked about the hunting business the last time you were with us, but give us a story.
Sure.
What got you into this business from the NFL?
Well, my dad got me into the business a long time ago as a kid. That was our connection and what we did. And I just had a love for the mountains and love for the adventure and doing these trips into the mountains, and had a connection with that. When I got done playing football, your whole focus in athletics is football, football, football. Everything you do is that. And when I got out, I really was looking for something to connect with, and I went right back to hunting.
The gear is really cool.
Thank you.
You brought it when you were here the last time. Have you actually hunted with Donald Jr. and Eric Trump?
I have, and we're in a couple trips this year with both of them.
Is there a bunch of technology that goes into a lot of the hunting gear, and are you starting to see it pick up now?
We are. I created a brand back in 2005 called Sitka. Prior to that, in apparel and backpacks, we had a huge separation technology advancements compared to what you'd find in mountaineering shops or outdoor world. And I connected hunters to technical fabrics and materials with that brand, and then took it a big step further with Kollege by eliminating the retailers, which really limited what I can make, and launched this brand in 2011 as purely consumer direct brand, so I could work with companies like Toray out of Japan that makes the best technical fabrics in the world, invent this idea I had around carbon fiber backpack frames, which we have in market. And it's a big improvement in backpack frames as far as performance, weight, and how we carry those heavy loads in the mountains.
Trophy hunting. Sure. However you want to call it, trophy hunting, very large game hunting, sure, particularly in Africa, not just by the Trump gentleman, sure, but in general, has come under a lot of criticism.
It has. It has.
So how do you respond to that?
Well, I think the people that don't understand hunting, don't understand hunters, and don't understand the facts around it and how important it is as a resource for countries in Africa, that the animals have an economic resource to the people there. And the money that we contribute as hunters. I mean, we contribute as hunters over $3 billion last year in conservation. And the people that talk poorly about hunting or want to try to take hunting away from us, they contribute very little. But it's emotional response. I can understand their perspective of it. They don't understand our side.
They see a majestic animal that has been hunted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't understand. How have you contributed to conservation?
Well, we through licenses, through tags,
permits, right? Permits can go up to $100,000, right?
Well, and that's on the other side of things. But just general hunting contributes through excise tax and all these initiatives through tags and licensing. That's over $2 billion a year that supports wildlife and habitat and biological studies and the fish and game to protect them and all the laws that go around that. Without hunting, who's going to manage the wildlife and the habitat?
Yeah, and that's the most important economic piece of this, is that there's only a set amount of permits, licenses, and things you can do. So every year the cost goes up, right? Because they manage.
It can, absolutely it can. And it's all based on biology and biological studies on how much game we can hunt, when we can hunt it. And those are taken into account every year to determine how many tags go out for the animals we hunt.
What do you love to hunt the most? I've never hunted anything in my life, literally.
I like sheep hunting up north in Alaska, the Yukon, or the Northwest Territories, just because of the big adventure. Now, it's not for everybody.
That's supposed to be the most challenging animal to hunt.
It is. It's remote.
Wild sheep.
You
have to say wild sheep, because people think like
not the barnyard sheep. Right. No, these are animals that live in the most remote.
Yeah, it's not Baba Black sheep.
Tell us
that wouldn't be very hard. It's because of the remoteness and the adventure that goes into it and the difficulty. I mean, we'll get flown in on bush planes into truly the middle of nowhere. I mean, where it's as uninhabited as it's ever been, because there's not indigenous people there. There's nobody there. And most of these animals have never seen a human being. And we get to go experience those places, those wild places that you wouldn't unless you're hunting. And it's so different than like a national park, the places we get to go and the things we get to see. And it's amazing. And it's very, very physically difficult. So it takes a lot of preparation. We train year-round for these types of hunts. We're always working on gear and reducing weight and working on our food menu that we bring with us to reduce weight and maximize our body's performance, because it's that difficult.
Yeah. Before you go, Jason, if you started your career today, would you still go into the NFL?
Good question. There's something that football is, that the blood, sweat, and tears, that aspect of it, the difficult and challenge, there's nothing like it. I have a son, and we've sat and talked about it, and I hope he doesn't, because you do pay a big price. I broke my neck. Both my shoulders are separated multiple times, and I've got the symptoms of CTE that I'm dealing with a neurologist on. So it's a big price, and you don't realize it when you're 19, 20 years old. You think you're
invincible.
Well,
absolutely.
Well, Jason, prayers and blessings as you deal with that.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks
it's been
for being here, Jason.
yeah, a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having us back.
Finish your thought.
No, it's great to be back on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Jason Hairston joining us there. Still to come, the state of the global economy in focus, what the ECB's decision and the February jobs report mean for markets. We'll talk with Mohamed El Arian from Allianz coming up. Back in a moment.